In the sun-drenched Iranian desert, I begin my journey in the heart of an ancient city. At a point, Brexit, sure, externians from Mabarets for not only build rooftops, but also preserve thousands of years. A mosque has been hidden for over 1,200 years beneath the dust of time, where script becomes a sculpture of an entire civilization. For the first time in my life, I encountered dust storms swirling up like a coarse golden mist. The wind tilts the entire city, yet the people here still walk quietly, as if long accustomed to nature's challenges. And quite unexpectedly, in the heart of Iran, I meet a Cossack person as if history had just intersected my path. Today has been a day full of experiences, but this is only the beginning. Yazd still stands there with its wind towers and sacred fires. And the stories in today's program. Now, let's hit the road. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my travel discovery series in Iran. The first attraction I want to introduce is a must-visit spot when traveling to Iran, the mosque considered the oldest in the country. Let's head inside. In the heart of the quiet ancient city of Nain, I step into a space bearing the marks of thousands of years of history. This is the Jama Mosque of Nain. The exterior may not look elaborate, yet this mosque is truly captivating, with its rustic and refined charm. Which is why this entire structure was built from terracotta bricks, bearing the brown hues of the desert and time. The lone minaret rises into the sky with an octagonal design that gradually turns into a circle, like a symbol of faith rising from the earliest of times. In here, I have the feeling that this is a city built entirely of raw bricks like these. It is truly beautiful. When I step inside, I am in awe, feeling as though I have discovered an artistic treasure. The mihrab, the prayer niche facing Mecca, is intricately carved in plaster, combining floral motifs and ancient Kufic script. The wooden minbar, over 700 years old, was crafted entirely using joinery techniques without any nails, yet it remains there as a witness to history. Unpolished brick walls covered in desert dust, yet still exuding an air of solemnity. Every design detail seems to set a silent convention that faith need not be ostentatious, only profound and enduring. And what impresses me isn't just the architecture, but how this place evokes a sense of stillness. Sound seems to be absorbed into every layer of earth and every floor tile. And with every step I take, I feel its gentleness, slow like a whisper telling stories of the past. In a place famous for its sparkling blue glazed domes, this church possesses a look of simplicity that is almost absolute. But within that very minimalism, I feel it even more clearly, regarding the depth of faith, where everything is focused inward, settling down and leading the mind to a state of near absolute tranquility. Now, going down into this basement, it feels very cold because the air from within is blowing out. I feel like I'm exploring a cave. So besides the visible part above, this church also has basement levels. Exactly. And that is perhaps one of the most fascinating aspects. Most of the large structures in Iran have underground levels. And this is one of the sites where they allow tourists to go down. That is also quite interesting, because at many other locations, tourists and locals are not allowed to visit. The tunnel ceiling is quite low, only about 2 meters high. As you can see, there are bright spots ahead. All these bright spots bring in natural light from above. It's not glass up there, it's actually marble slabs. For example, right here, the ceiling is made of marble. I feel like I'm exploring an underground tunnel. Above, the temperature is very high, around 33 or 34 degrees, but down here, it's only about 16 degrees. I've also learned that beneath these basements, it's also a place of prayer for Muslims when it gets too hot upstairs. Everyone comes down to pray in the basement. And this is the spot for the preacher. They can sit here to lead the prayer service for everyone. This water tank is not only for ritual cleansing before the service, but also a testament to the Qanat underground water system that has existed for thousands of years in Iran. Water is silently channeled from underground springs in the heart of the desert, flowing through narrow underground channels and gathering here, a sacred place where it meets human wisdom. To me, this place is not just a feat of engineering, but also a symbol. Life is always present, silent and patient, even in the most arid depths of the earth. Everyone, this is the stone that allows light to reach the basement below. We can see here what looks like very thick stone, but in reality, it's less than a centimeter thick, allowing light to illuminate the basement below. And we see several stones here that are actually the roof sections of the basement chambers, where light is captured. That's how it was built here. This church was built over 1,100 years ago, and ancient remains still exist here, such as the front section, which dates back 900 years. This means this entire area was built 200 years after the other side. And this church has been set on fire and destroyed many times throughout various conflicts. Regarding Islam, as we can see today, these are intact ancient relics from 700 years ago. This is a small yet sacred 700-year-old wall niche known as a mihrab. Crafted from stucco, the mihrab surface is like a winding stone carpet, blending soft leaf patterns reminiscent of desert winds with deep etched ancient Kufic script. Perhaps this is one of the earliest and purest expressions of carved calligraphy in Iran, where writing is not just a tool of language, but a medium of faith. Right beside it is the pulpit, also known as a minbar, a handcrafted woodworking masterpiece. It was built without using any metal components. After more than 7 centuries, the pulpit still stands firm, and it is more than just a place for preaching, but also a symbol of the endurance of knowledge, ethics, and human craftsmanship. To this day, this church is still visited by many people for prayer during services and ceremonies. Today, I see some people praying here, so I'll film from a distance through the glass for everyone to see. Here, you can see the walls are made entirely of mud mixed with stones and straw. Iran is also a country that experiences many earthquakes. That is why the houses here are built quite low. Here is a straw wall. Look at all the straw braiding. Secondly, the cross beams on the columns in this area are all made of wood to limit the vibrations caused by earthquakes. As a result, it minimizes damage, preventing structural collapse and broken beams. The house columns all have wooden braces on the cross beams to reduce shaking. If it were only concrete, the house could easily collapse, but wood provides better elasticity. This is a small abandoned temple that has collapsed and fallen into ruin. As you can see, the ceiling here is made entirely of terracotta, and they also built. Like other temples and cathedrals, however, this is just a small shrine that has fallen into ruins. Now, I'll climb up here to show you the thickness of this roof and why it collapsed like this. Honestly, these historical ruins are very fascinating to me personally. Because when I travel, I don't really like urban luxury. I prefer stories tied to culture and human development. And especially here in Iran, I'm truly impressed by all these remains because they represent our evolution. Dot off humanity in general and the people of Iran in particular. Because through these developments, they acquire newer structures, yet they still preserve. I must admit, they have preserved their cultural heritage exceptionally well. Now, I will say goodbye to Van Cathedral to continue my journey deeper into the city of Yazd, where I will surely have more stories to share with all of you. And I hope these stories from the land of Iran will inspire you to visit here yourself one day. Truly, through these exploratory journeys in Iran, I have personally felt and experienced so much. The warm hospitality of the Iranian people, along with the World Heritage Sites, are truly beautiful, captivating, and of immense value to humanity. Leaving the beautiful and ancient city of Nain, I continue my journey. This road leads us into the heart of Yazd like a corridor through time. Right now, I am passing through an area that is heavily affected by desert sand. As you can see, outside, it is completely covered in white dust. And at first, I thought this was a construction site, but it's not. It was explained to me that desert sand blows into this area, which has a significant impact. Besides that, there are also some factories here, such as steel mills or glasswork. That is how they can utilize this area. But local residents often protest the construction of these two factories, as they increase the pollution levels in the region. In addition to enduring the desert sand that frequently blows in, for instance, looking outside now, you can see a massive layer of dust, just like a storm. On the way into the city of Yazd, desert winds suddenly rose like a light sandstorm, blowing dust across the road and swirling around every wheel. In the distance, the rammed earth walls along the road also seemed to bow before the wind. Each gust of wind didn't just kick up dust, it also carried the breath of 1,000 years of history waiting ahead. I had heard a lot about Yazd. I've never been here before, so I'm incredibly excited. Iran's total area is 1,678,000 square kilometers, but as much as 70% of it is desert. Over there, there's a tan spiral spinning high into the sky. It looks just like a whirlwind. The weather outside has suddenly taken a turn for the worse. Strong winds are whipping the dust into small whirlwinds. This area is known as the Yazd Desert of Yazd province. That's why everything here looks so hazy. Because of all the sand and the whirlwind outside, the sky is no longer blue, as you can see. I used to imagine the desert as a lifeless place with nothing in it. They have built national highways and expressways right through the desert. Consequently, as we pass through the Yazd Desert, the roadsides remain bustling naturally. Where there are roads, there is life. However, I imagine that daily life for the residents in this area must be truly difficult. Fortunately, everywhere in Iran, they plant a great deal of flowers. You can see those black pipes running below. Those are drip irrigation lines for every single plant. Now, having crossed the expressway to enter the city of Yazd, I've noticed that this city is very bustling. It's also known that in Iran, in Yazd province, because of the desert, the water supply system for the city is also miraculous. Miraculous is the best word for it, because the entire water system is built underground to supply this city. And as you can see, flowers are blooming everywhere along with many trees. It's quite strange that such a city has emerged in the middle of the desert. I've heard that the people here live quite a stable, if not wealthy, lifestyle. So, I have arrived in Yazd city, in Yazd province. The houses here are very low. And importantly, as I mentioned, the streets are always remarkably clean. Even in the desert, despite all the dust and sand, Peugeot 4 am meisten Hemkorsnowitz. EVA is the most popular car brand in Iran. And friends, here is the reason why the city is so clean. This is a bin where people discard their cigarette butts to avoid impacting the city's cleanliness. See, this is a container specifically for cigarette filters. It's very civilized. Honestly, it's truly civilized. I'd really support implementing this in Vietnam. If every street corner had a box for cigarette butts, we wouldn't see them littered on the streets or in public places like this. Cleaners just need to open this, and it automatically empties straight into the trash bags. A thumbs up to Iran for this initiative. Wonderful. I met a man dressed in the traditional Iranian style. It's so beautiful. A Cossack. He's a Cossack. This is the Cossack style, everyone. It's so beautiful. Strangely enough, in the middle of the sun-drenched and windy land of Iran, I didn't expect to come across a Cossack. As you can see, he is tall with sun-kissed skin and eyes as sharp as a sword that has crossed the Eurasian steppes. His clothing carries a very nomadic vibe. He is like a fragment of history, lost in the heart of the Middle Eastern desert. The Cossacks were nomadic warriors from Russia who traveled across the Caucasus, Central Asia, and Iran, leaving their mark on the military, politics, and life in this region. The Cossacks are exceptionally skilled warriors. And I remember, at the military parade marking the 85th anniversary of the victory over fascism in the Kremlin Square, Moscow also had a Cossack unit participating in this magnificent event. This serves as a testament to their combat prowess. The image of the Cossacks remains present even in modern society today. Coming here, I feel my skin becoming really tight uncomfortable, and dry. Oh, as you can see, this is a whole water supply system. This irrigation system carries water throughout the city and province, which is why there are plants, flowers, and life, and everything is thriving here. I have now arrived in the town of Maybod in Yazd province. Just looking at the scenery while entering the town, I find it truly captivating because in addition to the houses with walls made of terracotta and clay bricks, there are, of course, architectural features very characteristic of Islam. In this area, as you can see, these are all guest rooms used by merchants back during the time of the Abbasid Empire. From the 15th to the 17th century, he built 999 complexes like this along the route. Similar to modern highway rest stops, these were dormitories for travelers. Those without money stayed in these areas, while those with money stayed indoors. This was also where they could hitch their mules and donkeys. Wealthy merchants traveling with camels had a separate area for their animals. This outer section was reserved for the poorer travelers. Yazd is a silent desert city nestled between mountains and sand dunes, long known as the city of the fire god. This is the home of Iran's oldest religion, Zoroastrianism, also known as fire worship, which is still practiced here today. Not only in sacred fire temples, but in the way locals live, worship, and preserve traditions across generations. Over 3,000 years ago, while humanity was still navigating primitive beliefs, Zoroaster, the prophet of the fire worship religion, lit a symbolic flame for truth, justice, and the light of the soul. Since then, that flame has been kept burning continuously for millennia. Within quiet temples in the heart of the city of Yazd, at the fire temple, one of the most sacred places, that holy fire still smolders. It has never been extinguished since the 5th century. Yazd is not only about keeping the fire alive, but also about self-preservation. Amidst these scorched and arid lands, the residents have created a city that knows how to live in harmony with nature. Soaring Badger wind towers capture cool breezes for every home, while Kanats channel groundwater through the earth. The city seems built on resilience and faith, not only in nature but also in humanity itself. Traveling through Iran, you find yourself constantly looking up at the sky because the sacred beauty lies above. That's why they place such great importance on decorating the domes. Let's shake hands. There's also a place here selling souvenirs. I think these are magnets for the fridge or wherever you'd like to put them. It says Yazd province here. These are made of porcelain. All the items here feature the image of the sun. Since Yazd is known as the city of fire, this is the symbol of the city. I've bought these pieces to give to you all as gifts. Hi. Hello, hello. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Did you see that beautiful Iranian girl? I bought these gifts because of her, but I'm giving them to you. Looking at this roof, you might think it's a prayer house, but it's not. This is essentially what you would call an ice factory. All three of these pipes are designed to draw fresh air from above. The air flows down to cool the water system inside. I jokingly call it an ice factory. But they were already using this method 400 years ago. And this material, it's quite crumbly to the touch. It's built entirely from mud and straw. As is this entire column. See? This is known as an ice factory, used to store and cool the water source here. Nestled quietly along the ancient streets, the Ab Ambar cooling tower stands out as a unique highlight in the architectural symphony of Yazd. Its prominent hemispherical dome sits amidst those soaring wind towers. I feel like each of those tower shafts is like a natural suction pipe, pulling cool air down into the storage cellar below. As I move closer, I can clearly sense the subtle movement of the wind rushing into the tower, flowing down through the tunnels and spreading cold air throughout the underground space. The walls here in Iran are built very thick, typically 1 to 2 meters, likely due to the extreme weather. This ensures that it stays warm in the winter and cool in the summer. With walls this thick, simply by placing my hand here, I can feel the cool temperature radiating up from below. First, it comes from high-altitude air currents circulating down through these ventilation shafts. It's about 34 to 35 degrees outside, but inside here, it's only around 13 to 14 degrees. No electricity, no engines. This is just a clever combination of nature and human wisdom from over 200 years ago. Standing here, I not only feel the coolness, but also feel that I'm continuing the story of this desert community, where they learn to cherish every drop of water, conquering the aridity with intelligence and respect for nature. And so, another day draws to a close in this desert land. From the sudden sandstorms to the serene presence of the ancient mosque, and from the sound of the wind through the cool wind catchers to the gaze of the locals, I happen to encounter all these small glimpses that have opened up a vast world waiting for me ahead. This is the city of Yazd. With narrow alleys I have never walked through, wind towers I haven't yet looked up at, and ancient fires whose stories have yet to be fully told. But I will return to tell you that story. See you again, where the most wonderful experiences have perhaps only just begun. Goodbye, and see you in the next episode in Iran.